What If Anime here, and welcome to part 2 of What If Deku was Deadpool. Now, I remember in the last episode, the video got cut off. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I didn't see that until I completely uploaded it. But now, let's continue where basically it got cut off. And I said in the last video that Deku was going to go to UA. He's not going to go to UA. He's not going to go to UA because his father, all for one, asked him to go to UA and tell them what the plans are and everything for so basically Deku would be the traitor. But Deku firmly denies that because his friend group. And flashback to that point, they're having the conversation, all for one saying, "Zuko, my son, I need you for an infiltration mission." And as soon as he heard infiltration mission, he thought UA. Deku thought UA, so he was like, "No, because if I go to UA and give you information, you can just hurt my friends, and I'm not doing that. And you'll hurt other people. I'm not trying to be a villain, Dad. I'm trying to be a good person and live my life. I don't want to be a villain." He walks out. And then a mysterious person walks in. Who... I can't believe I'm doing this because I just thought of this. A woman walks in, actually. A mysterious woman wearing a scarlet red jacket. Well, trench coat. And all for one says this: "Make him fear what he may lose." And so, when Deku's... Okay, now let's cut back to the present. Now, Bakugo is going on his little rant saying that he's the best and he's gonna get into UA no problem. And Uraraka, Shinzo, and Deku are just laughing about it behind his back and like all this stuff. And school ends. So, and Shinzo, Uraraka, and Deku all are walking out. And they're all just making jokes. Deku making a couple of cracks and making them both laugh. And Deku actually offers them to come over to his house and celebrate the fact that they are going to UA. They're applying for UA, and just to give them a little boost for the extra 10 months that they have to work. And Deku also says, I'll also, at the party, I'll also reveal what I'm going to do. And so this is what happens. Midoriya does go down the alley, but the sludge villain doesn't attack him because he knows who All For One... I'm going to say the sludge villain in this knows All For One, and Midoriya is off limits to all villains. And I'm also going to say that Midoriya knows Shigaraki, too. I forgot to mention that. But, so Deku is walking down, the sludge villain's about to, climbs out of the sewer and says, "You have a nice body, kid, I'm gonna take it over." And then he sees his face, he's like, "Oh, never mind." And Deku just looks confused. "Why are you not gonna try to attack me, villain?" And the sludge villain goes, "Well, you're All For One's son, so I don't want to get killed." I don't care. You can't kill me anyway. And the sludge villain looks at him, so, "Wait, what? I can't kill you?" And the sludge villain looks really confused. And then in his confusion, they both hear, "Never fear, for I am here," as All Might jumps down and delivers a Detroit Smash onto the sludge villain. And he asks, then after doing that, the sludge villain, All Might grabs All Might checks on Midoriya and says, young one, are you okay?" And Deku goes, "Yeah, he didn't even get a chance to hurt me. You just kind of came in at the right time." Hang on a second. Sorry about that. My mom just let my cat in. No, he's coming over. I thought he was coming to come say hello, but nope. My cat just went and laid on my bed. Now, back to what I was saying. Where was I? Oh yeah. So Deku. Wait, I forget where I was at. Dang it! It's gonna. Dang. I'm sorry, guys. I just forgot where I was. Hang on a second. Oh, hang on a second. Now I remember where I was at. Now, All Might, Deku says to All Might, "Yeah, I'm fine. You just came in at the exactly right time before you can grab me." And he goes, "Oh, well, that's a good thing. Well, I should collect the villain and get out of here." And Deku doesn't ask for the autograph, and Deku doesn't grab onto his leg. That never happens. And I'm going to say that he delivers the sludge villain safely to the people, because I don't want to do that, because because I don't want to, because if I have something play, if I do the sludge villain, I can't do something that I'm like doing later in the story. But let's get back to the story. Now, Kurogiri and Inko and, well, Uraraka's parents don't come to the party. In fact, they don't know about the party, because Uraraka and Deku don't want them to be over. And Uraraka's parents don't care what she does. That's how much they don't like her in this What If. You know, Shinzo's parents are there, and Inko and Kurogiri are there, well, obviously, and they're all just having fun, talking. Kurogiri's making drinks for the adults, and the kids are, and like the teenagers are just drinking like soda. They're sitting in Midoriya's room, just all of them are just talking as good friends, and then Midoriya walks into the living room and picks up a microphone and picks up is saying to everybody, well, to Uraraka and Shinzo, to hopefully they get into UA and hopefully that everything will work out for them. And then Midoriya says it's time to reveal what I'll be doing instead of going to UA. As Kurogiri walks up next to him and says, and Deku, and then hands him a microphone. Now, Uraraka and Shinzo are confused by this. And they know Kurogiri works at a bar. And I don't know if anybody's gonna like this, but I'm making Deku have a really good singing voice. So he's gonna be a singer at Kurogiri's bar. Well, I know that's kind of weird for a teenager to be singing at a bar, but I'm just gonna do it. Now, Deku, they're just super happy that Midoriya is gonna get work, and he's gonna be working with his dad. So, well, his dad, I say with quotation marks. Sorry about that. Off track. Sorry. My cat just hit my door again. Oh, okay. Now, back to what I was saying, though. Now, everybody's happy and all this, and then what happens is this. Shinzo and Uraraka actually stay over the night. And Deku and Shinzo, and they're all having fun, like, staying up, but Shinzo falls asleep, and it's just Uraraka and Deku. And they sneak out and go on top of... I'm going to say Deku actually lives in, like, a 2-story house. Not like the apartment building he lives in canon. So what happens... So there's, like, a shed out back for supplies and stuff. So what happens is they sneak onto the roof of that, and they sit up and talk. And Midoriya is like thinking in his head, should this be the right time to ask her out or nothing like that? But Midoriya but they are just talking. Uraka is venting about her life and what she's gonna do when she becomes a hero, and her problems at home. And every time Midoriya hears what happens to her, like her getting mentally abused, physically, Deku gets verbally mad, and that's the only thing villainous he wants to do is kill Uraraka's parents. But he also wants to take down the corrupted world. He's kind of has, well, for heroes, he kind of has a Stain mentality, but less murderous until one point. But yeah, so now cut to the morning where everybody's happy. Well, they all have breakfast. Uraraka goes home, and for the next 10 months, actually, Deku is singing at Karigary's bar, getting paid for it, and in his free time is help training Shinzo and Uraraka because I forgot to mention this. All for One had I don't know who, I can't remember, but somebody helped train Midoriya in hand-to-hand combat and like fighting tactics and he trains. So basically just training. So Midoriya is well versed in a lot of things. And so he helps train and sorry, getting on. He helps train Uraraka and Shinzo. Now, okay, I was seeing the first recording. Now, Shinzo and Uraraka are just so happy that they get to train with their friend, even though he's not going to go to UA with them. And one day, Deku is sitting at Kurigiri's bar, getting ready for his next show for them to sing. Everybody that is like a regular inside of Shigaraki's bar loves Midoriya's singing, so they always like it when he goes on stage and sings. And so Deku is sitting with Kurigiri just talking, and then Kurigiri brings up the fact that he disobeyed his real father, and Deku just says, "I didn't disobey you." And Kurigiri gets taken aback by this and says, "I'm not your real father, though." And Deku goes, "You are to me, Kurigiri. You are. I don't see All for One as my father. He wasn't around for the beginning of my life, so I don't know him very well." And so Kurigiri actually gets happy about this and says he sees Midoriya as his son too. And well, Midoriya is just happy to be there and working with Kurigiri. Until one day something happens. A week later. I'm gonna say this is like during the 10th month. So I'm gonna say up to a week before the entrance exam, where Uraraka and Shinzo would go. Now, Deku is sitting at the bar clearing up his throat, getting ready for his next show, until a woman walks up to him and just walks past him and uses some scarlet red magic and puts something in his head. Now, this is something that I kind of like that I want to do with this. Because Deadpool has two different personalities. He has his kind of like what's left of his sanity, and the other half is just normal Deadpool. And now I'm kind of doing that with this. Hang on a second. Sorry. Something just flew at me. Now, and so what happens is Midoriya feels weird, and after his shows, Kurigiri takes him home. He falls asleep, but he has a nightmare where he sees Shinzo, his mother, All Might, like everybody he knows, like Shinzo's parents, and well, he sees all of his loved ones dead on the ground beneath him. As Midoriya looks up to see, well, this is him in his dream. He looks up to see himself, but not his normal self. He looks like this picture, but just picture Midoriya's face, not Ryan Reynolds. His mouth is completely gone. He's shaven. He has these like tattoos. Well, they're not tattoos. I know they're into inject like stuff. I forget. Was it the antimantium? Yeah, I think it was the antimantium. To inject the antimantium into him. And so he sees that, but when he looks up even further, he has his blade out and he has the head of All Might up on the top of it. And next thing he sees is this version of him holding Uraraka by a chain. And Midoriya wakes up after seeing this and panics, and he screams very loudly. So Kurogiri and Inko run into the room, and they just see Midoriya sitting up in a cold sweat, just freaking out. And Kurogiri and Inko comfort him, and Kurogiri gets visibly mad because he knows what work this is, because he's seen it before. So the next day, Kurogiri calls off work. He closed the bar early. And he goes to the secret base with All For One and confronts him and says, "Master, I don't believe doing this to your son works. Don't let that witch hurt your son. Hurt my son. You think she did it on her own free will? I told her to." As Scarlet Witch walks out of the shadows, and Kurogiri gets even more mad and says, "You trust her enough to... You're more sadistic than I thought, All For One. I saw you as a piece. I saw you as a symbol. But after what you're doing to your son, it's unright. Are you just gonna cast him aside like your two other sons if he doesn't obey you? My other sons are failures. What they became was their own monstrous behavior. Just because they became monsters, just because they became animals, doesn't mean Izuku won't." "I know what he said to you, Kurogiri. He called you his real father. That hurt me, because I thought you were my most trusted ally. I am, All For One. I'm more faithful than Shigaraki, who's been making deals with the Hasaikai." I think that's what they're called. Well, Overhaul's gang, basically. I'm going to say that in this one, Overhaul and Shigaraki are friends. And... Ow. Sorry. And I'm going to say Shigaraki's in the room, and Shigaraki just starts laughing. And All For One turns around and says, "Yes, I know. I told him to. So we can get those quirk-enhancing bullets, and those quirk-canceling bullets. So that way, in case my son, my true son, gets any other way, he will lose all of those quirks. I will not take them. I will destroy them." And Kurogiri gets visibly scared by this because he's worried for Izuku. Because if that happens, Izuku would be powerless and can't protect himself. Well, Kurogiri would protect him at all costs, but yeah. And so Kurogiri just says, don't do this. I will talk to him and see if he'll follow your orders. But if I can find another way to get the information from your way, then I'll do it. Just don't bring Izuku into this. So as Kurogiri leaves, then All For One says, I already have. And when Kurogiri gets home, Midoriya is just sitting there on the phone with Uraraka because I'm gonna say this happens a week after the entrance exam, and she calls Midoriya like all excited, like she got into 1A, so she gets really excited and all this, and Kurogiri actually walks in and says, "Who are you talking to, Midoriya?" That's not how Kurogiri would sound. He walks in and says, "Izuku, who are you talking to, my boy?" And Deku puts his hand on the phone and says, "Oh, I'm talking to Uraraka." And he goes, "Oh, okay. Well, I have something to talk to you about when you get off the phone." And he goes, "Okay. Well," and he says, "Uraraka, I actually have to go. Can I call you back?" And they hang up the phone, and Kurogiri brings him into the kitchen to talk. And Kurogiri brings up the fact that and Kurogiri hates himself for doing this because I like Kurogiri, so I'm just gonna make him a lot more human. Well, he is human. It's just okay, never mind. But he basically says, Midoriya, after taking in so many of those quirks, I may fear that me and All For One may fear that you created another side to yourself. Midoriya, you are not the first. And Midoriya goes, the first of what? The first child of All For One. And Midoriya gets shocked by this, saying, I have siblings? And Kurogiri turns around and says, 2. I do not wish to speak of their names because we were all sworn never to speak of their names again. And so Deku's really curious about this. He goes, okay, then do you know their quirks? I do not want to say their quirks either. And so what happens is Deku is really curious about his siblings, but Kurogiri continues in saying, in taking in so many quirks, we may fear that you may have made a separate personality. A separate personality. All of your sadistic evil sides, Izuku. That's what your other personality is. That other side, that one that was, your mouth was melted shut and you were bald. And those tattoos, that was you. But that was your sadistic side, trying to claw its way out. It's showing you what you will do. It's showing you what you will become. And Izuku yells, I will not become that. I will not kill my friends. And I will not hurt Mom, you, or Uraraka. Like I said, Dad, if anybody lays a hand on any of my family, I will kill them. And Kurogiri actually gets taken aback by that, but he understands. And so Midoriya so they continue on talking, and Midoriya goes to bed that night, but he actually stays up and talks with Uraraka over the phone. And Kurogiri actually walks... Oh no. Okay, whew.